Do you drink coffee? Type in the comments. Question of the day. Do you like coffee? Do you drink coffee? And if the New American Media got a special blend of coffee, is that something you would obtain? I want to do that. There's a lot of people teaming up with coffee companies for like a special blend. So the question of the day, do you drink coffee? Would you buy TNAM coffee? And if so, is there a specific blend that you like? Is it a Colombian blend? Is it Jamaican blue? Jamaican blue. Oh, when that's done right, that is, there's not much like that. Your first sip of that will change your life. Your first sip of Jamaican blue coffee would be like, have you had a manual traction adjustment, MTA, chiropractor? Oh, did you hear that? I heard 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing there. Nothing there. I try not to manually adjust anymore, but my mom used to work at a chiropractor. I used to get adjusted. In a manual traction adjustment, it's the head strap, or they'll make your belly into jelly. If you watch those videos on YouTube, they wrap a towel around your neck and then they go, they give it like one strong yank and it goes pop, 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 pop. And then it's like an accordion. Connection lost. Again, I just suffered a live stream connection loss, as I have been, Jamie, can you send him a message on Restream? Dealing with for a week or two now. I've reset my modem and router, and still daily problems with the show. So there you go. That's happening. But yeah, when you get a manual traction adjustment and I had decades of just compression, a lot of playing football with a helmet and hitting that helmet and crunching into things and being jammed into spots, and just the weight of gravity over the years. Oh, going to a chiropractor and having them do the chin strap, the head strap thing, and they gave it a pull. And I mean, I was able to take like the most clear, full breath that I've had, maybe ever. At least in such a distant memory, I couldn't recall a time without that pressure. Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee is that good. And then I screw up the ad read. It's okay. They're not an official client, sponsoring partner yet. And I'm just referring to the style of Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee. I don't know if there's multiple versions. Probably if it just refers to the Blue Mountain, maybe, or if is that like champagne? Is that, Jamie, can you look that up? Is Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee a brand, or is that just a style of coffee beans from that area and there's multiple companies? I don't have Jamie. I'm Jamie. Hello, everybody, but I'm not Jamie. My name's Brian. Thank you all for being here. On today's program, we are going to discuss the SAVE Act. Full speed ahead. Full steam ahead. Full screech ahead. That's your Saved by the Bell references. I know you all come here for mid-90s pop culture references. But that's what we're here for. We're here to have a little bit of fun, and we're here to battle demonic forces. So, dear Lord, Heavenly Father above, thanks for bringing us together again. All of our friends in the comments, our friends across the world who care enough about humanity to try to make it a better place than it was that we found it. I recall somebody told me that about the partners in their relationships, that, if things didn't work out, they understand that you meet somebody for a stage in their life, and even if they're not meant to be your forever person, you try to leave that person in a better place than you found them. So that's what we try to do here on the TNAM Daily Show and here at the New American Media every day, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern, as well as the past 15 years of music content, humor content, original documentaries, sports content, covering the daily news, acting as a bunch of trash pandas, rifling through the rubbish, trying to separate fake news from fact as we try to figure out, is there any justice on this realm that appear to be, I don't know, if not run by, heavily influenced by demonic forces that are really abusing us. You know, being created in your image, it's one of those things that if you are something that exists, and I will choose to believe that you are and that you do, and that you're the reason that I'm here, whatever that exactly is, a simulation, a bubble dome firmament, a ancient alien, a spirit, a force, a molecular DNA molecule, an acid trip, a video game, a simulation, I don't know, something like Avatar. But if there's a God, I feel like you would want the people here to be living free from the abuse of tyrants. And every day we have to dig through really terrible stories with terrible people doing terrible things to, innocent or at-risk people. And so we gather to have some fun here, but we encourage you, but we continue to ask for your angelic presence and force and spirit to protect us. Protect us from any physical harm on our person, our home, our family, our extended family, our friends, our acquaintances, our coworkers, our communities, our streets, our neighborhoods, our cities, our states, our country, the United States, as well as humanity on Earth, this galaxy and beyond. So just also protect our hearts and minds from the dark stuff that we gotta sift through. I mean, it's changing Anna Paulina Luna. It's changing anybody, Nancy Mace. It's changing anybody that is consuming this information, because the information says they're consuming us. Literally, like what was it? The Canaanites, the cannibal Canaanites, the vampires of ancient lore. So, yeah, we're here to have fun, but we're also here to handle some really radioactive stuff. So make sure that our protective gear is in order, and make sure you're watching our back while we're in the process of doing it. In your name we pray, amen. Yeah, because I don't, some of the stuff that we're getting into, it's difficult. It's tough, but you're tough. You're tough. We're tough. We're not going down without a fight. Elon posted an image of a sleeping lion. Oh, careful. You can't do a Lion King joke. Can't do AI. Adam Schiff cannot be the giraffe because his neck is a little longer. Adam Schiff cannot be the, he cannot play the dove because his skin is too fair. Or else it's the end of the world, right? Yeah, Elon posted an image of a sleeping lion and just telling Europe, please wake up. You're being conquered. You're being invaded. You're being abused. There is a shadow creeping over your land, and you are being abused at catastrophic, unacceptable levels. And with 40 million people, that the last administration that many say did not earn the right to be there, have prepositioned some dark forces. We're going to ask on today's program, did Tom Homan just checkmate the Democrats? You have the SAVE Act that got passed by the House now. Speaker Thune needs to push it through. By hook or by crook, it doesn't matter. You must get it through, and you must get it through now. There is no more America. This is the end of the road. Boys to Men sang about this. Once again, here's your 90s pop culture reference. The end of the road. Oh my God. Oh my God. You got 4 different voices, so there's all these different parts you can hit if you're singing in the car. That's a lot of fun. Baby. You know I never meant to do you wrong. Ooh. We've reached the end of the road, people. As Yogi Berra said, I say when you reach the fork in the road, I say take it. When you reach the fork in the road, I say take it. I believe that's close to the exact quote. When you got to make a choice, I say you decide. This way, that way. But this is suicidal empathy, ridiculousness, or saving America. There is no more. The road It is a big stone wall, quarried out, cut through stone, taking you. You cannot continue as you were. You go this way or you go that. Whip, hey, yep. And while we deal with the demonic, while we're trying to figure out the best way to remove the invaders and maintaining civil liberties and respect and trying to, like there's been no respect. And I think both sides have felt as though maybe ICE is being a little too heavy-handed and maybe getting all over the place. And you can't just be picking up random people off the streets. The Democrats are pushing lie after lie to get people so freaked out that they freak out and they cause a scene. And you've seen a couple of instances of that. The contagion that's been spreading through the Democrat Party, really pushing fear, division. Americans are united in being Americans, but we've been invaded, and every demographic in these city centers that is getting apportioned or too heavily weighted with their congressional representation because there are so many people that the Democrat Party have pre-positioned throughout that city to outvote the will of the people in the rest of that state, the rest of this country. There's 15 cities that think they run this country. And you can look at Minneapolis, Minnesota, and you can say, that might be a conquered nation. They literally took down their flag in defeat. Tim Walz sold America out as a traitor, pure and simple, as did Mayorkas, Biden, Garland, Obama, etc. Harris, our border czar. So did Tom Homan of ICE, did he just checkmate the Democrats? It's being played as a loss. Tom Homan failed. Trump failed. Trump backed down. You let the blue cities win, and now they're going to do this everywhere. Or maybe I could be reading it wrong, but based on some initial comments by Tom Homan, it seems as though now you won't believe what these cities were not doing. You won't believe what they weren't doing. And you go, holy shit, there's literally no good reason that anyone would do that. Unless for a ton of bad reasons. And you look at the waste, fraud, abuse, the grift, and the graft up in Minneapolis. Tens of billions of dollars stolen from Minnesota. The citizens of America residing in Minnesota were absolutely robbed blind. And please don't think this is just limited to a Minneapolis problem. The whole rotten system's out of order. All of it. You feel the disturbance in the force. You have shaken up the terrarium, and there are some bitey, pointy things that have been brought up now. And they're starting to lash out. The whole system has been designed in somebody else's favor. And it's been this way since when? Since 9/11? Since 2001? Oh, look at when it went from like 2 trillion to 38 trillion on the credit card. There's no way to pay that off. And we never decided we wanted to. Well, the whole system where you can just press a button and you create money out of thin air. You used to go to Taco Bell with $5 or $10. You came home like a king. You could eat for a week and a half. I lived in college. You get a few things from Taco Bell now. It's $47. You go, what the hell just happened? Have your wages gone through the roof like that to keep up? That's what happens when you devalue the currency. And this whole system has just been continuously looted by people not representing us. They would get up into a position, they'll give you a little bit of pablum, they'll try to keep you fighting amongst each other while they rob you blind. Well, the SAVE Act might be doing something to reverse that. ICE and what Tom Homan might have just done to set up some parameters where from now on, this is how they're going to conduct themselves in the big cities, and they're going to have cooperation this way or that way. We're getting cooperation because we're not going to let those people out into the streets. We're going to catch them in the parking lots if there's a few of them that won't, but almost all of them have said we're going to work with you, and every one of them will be handed directly over to you. So they're not dumped back into the community. We don't have to go hunting for them. And we'll leave it up to the police and law enforcement to continue their law enforcement efforts to identify, detain, hand over to ICE any illegal alien that's not supposed to be here. It's another reminder that you've had more than a year of the second Trump administration, second year of the Trump term, second year of the second Trump term. It was the 13th day of the 13th month. Wait, what was it? It was the 13th hour of the 13th day of the 13th month. Ooh, lousy smarch weather. We were there to discuss the misprinted calendars. Question of the day. Tell me if you understand what that reference is. I know there's one person in here, one of our regulars gets every Simpsons reference. Lousy smarch weather. You'll be amazed at what has not been happening, and hopefully what we are about to change. Birth tourism as well. Who's that guy? There's a Chinese guy. Was he? What is his story? The guy who's blaming all of society's problems on white people. I think he's a representative out of Texas. You know, this whole birth tourism thing. I read where a surrogate has just paid random people to have 100 of his kids, and as soon as the kid's born, they're shipped back to China. I believe it's China. And these people are going to be technically able to come back in 35 years and run for president of the United States to overthrow our country. People that aren't raised here, don't share our same values. They don't abide by the same constructs of the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the same things we're trying to uphold. People say, well, how could you be for ICE and still be for civil liberties? We have the civil liberties to not be invaded. It sort of starts with sovereignty over that. Not everybody's allowed inside of me. You know, and I think that type of violation is exactly why we're all so upset about the Epstein stuff, because, you know, the violation of what's been happening, it's just it's horror show stuff. It's horror show stuff. And either we need to raise our expectations of what's expected, expectations of what we demand on this realm, or not. But maybe there's something each one of us can do. You know, if there's a fire at that house and there's a swimming pool over here, maybe we can all line up and we can dip our bucket in, pass the buckets of water, you know, into the lake or the pond, and just keep it rolling. Here's a conveyor belt of water. Let's do our best. Let's all do a little. Some of us have time. Some of us have resources. Some of us have talents. Some of us have tenacity. And yeah, this is all since COVID, since 2020, watching the selection of Joe Biden, the overthrow of Trump. You know, everything's been sort of flashing red lights since then. So I feel it's important. I try to deliver you a show that you enjoy. So until we get those coffee sponsors, I will remind you that what we have is an ability to fund this show. It's at the bottom of the screen. A few key ways. We're on Patreon. You can sign up to be a member. You can all please at least go to Patreon, The New American Media, and become a free member. It takes like a minute or two. Just enter an email address. I'd like to be a free member. Cool. And if you would be so kind, consider joining us for $10 a month. I think we have a Netflix one for like $15 a month, $100 a month, $1,000 a month. Some of you have more money than time. Some of you have resources, but you don't want to speak up publicly. You'll maybe jump in chat. Maybe you'll use your name. Maybe you'll use a pseudonym. We know that we're watched by the Pinkies Up crew. Pinkies up, everybody. Cheers. We know we got almost as many trolls that watch us as regulars and patriots out there. Maybe not so, but, you know. There's many ways to be a regular here at TNAM. So yeah, you can also sign up for a monthly subscription on Rumble and YouTube. If you didn't know that, it's like $5 a month, or there might be different levels, and it's just every month on the 7th or the 3rd or however they do it. You know, it's another $5. It just goes in. It's one Lego block. It's one building block every month. Every subscription, it's one more building block that month. And as I'm up against the restream, going to say they need $800-900 for a year of service now. That's a real bill. That's a real bill that needs to be paid. And as of right now, checking YouTube, we are currently with we're on the second week of February. And right now, our revenue is 1/4. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me redo the math. It's 1/3 of our lowest month ever, which was November. So we're halfway through this even shorter month, and we're 1/3 of the super chats lower than our lowest month. So with this big bill coming, that's a way you can assist the program. And by the way, I want to tell every regular this. I've said it before. Just let me be very clear, though. Your generosity to like make a batch of mugs. By the way, if you want a mug, they're $40. They're on Venmo. Just my name, BrianEngelman. People have sent gifts. People have sent donations through every medium imaginable: Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Rumble Rant, Super Chat, Patreon. Thank you. And just because I say this for each show or regularly or quasi-regularly, it's because as of right now, I have not taken on sponsorships at this point. And this is the way this is the way that we want to grow. This is the way that we wanted to start the growth of this program. And if you're ever not in a position to contribute, never think as though I'm trying to wring blood from a turnip. I'm trying to get water from a stone, or whatever analogy you want to use. Anything and everything you have given is above and beyond my expectations and appreciated beyond belief. They say that about angels and divine intervention, that if you pray to God and ask for your angels and you talk to your angels, they appreciate feeling appreciated. By the way, Valentine's Day is this weekend. So, yeah, there's that. They appreciate being appreciated. And I just want to say thank you for everything in the past. If you ever feel like I'm overdoing it on asking for more, then just realize I'm not talking to you in that moment. Never think that I'm ungrateful for anything that's come in. But that's something I do want to reiterate from time to time. I'm not going to beat that dead horse because I don't think any of you really believe that. But I do just want to express that appreciation because I can't rely on YouTube. I can't rely on anything. But if it comes direct, okay, that's something. If it's set every month and it's just you can count on it, you can see the stats. You go, okay, this month X amount will come in and that will pay that bill and this will do that and this will go to that. By the way, the studio had a $280 heating and electric bill this month because of that cold snap. That's a significant bill, and that's a part of the overhead of just existing on Earth. So thank you to everybody who has sponsored in any way. And if you ever are in a position where you can't, but you used to, or it's all good. It's all good. Everything you've done is awesome. And yes, anyone that can, keep it coming. Let's not get that twisted. Because it is the lifeblood of it. This is me standing at the corner. It's Savannah, Georgia. I'm on Bay Street or River Street for spring break. I'm there for like their mini Mardi Gras, doing the St. Patrick's Day festival. And if you like what you're hearing, throw some money in that tip jar, man. We got that guitar case open. That's what we do. So thank you, everybody. All the ways to subscribe and tip, they're all at the bottom of the screen. Like I said, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Patreon, YouTube, and Rumble Rants, and Super Chats. All right. So we're going to talk about Tom Homan. Did he checkmate the Democrats? The SAVE Act demanded by Americans. 87% of the people say, yeah, obviously. And we really can't take the Democrats seriously if they're going to pretend that there's legitimate reasons why you can't do that. Well, what if you got married and changed your name? Yeah, then you get the paperwork you need and you go about your day. We've all done this. Well, you're a guy. You've never done that. No, it's a sexist policy. Shut up. There is no entertaining these bad ideas anymore. There's really just mocking, ridicule, telling them, shut up. I don't buy that. I'm not accepting that. Pass the act. Verify. We're from now on. Can you believe we haven't been verifying our elections in a proper manner? Can you believe that sanctuary cities like Minneapolis have just been releasing known violent criminal illegal aliens? And anybody that's an illegal alien needs to be escorted out of the nightclub. I'm not saying break their leg in the process. I'm not saying rob them on the way out. I'm not saying do anything cruel or unusual, but I'm saying you do need to leave the nightclub, which is why you should use the CBP Home app. You get $2,600 in your pocket and a free flight home. And then you get to raise your hand and go, hey, I was part of a program. Someone said I'd still like to be here. Run a background check. I'm not a bad guy. I've lived here. Ask my neighbor. I have people that would vouch for me. People in the community. Like I thought I want to contribute. No, I will not go on welfare. No, I'm not going to steal your money. I want to work. Let me identify myself. Let me get a purple identification card, not Republican or Democrat, but purple. It's not a green card, but it's a purple card. And just say, hey, I have self-identified. I am here. And because I've raised my hand and gone to you, I'm asking for a temporary, and then you have a weekly check-in, monthly check-in, physical, in person, at whatever the case may be. Because whatever we're doing now just isn't it. It ain't working. But the Democrats don't just get to win because they did what they did. It's time to fix it. You got to remove the water from the house or else everything's going to get rotted with mold. And far too many Americans have suffered at the hands of people that had no business being here. And this is sloppy. This is dereliction of duty, if not treasonous. And I call it all of those. So it feels important to me that we discuss these issues for reasons of saving this country, for reasons of saving our souls. Because if there's a soul, which there may be, and if we ever have to meet our maker, I just want to be able to look at that maker and say, I tried. I didn't always get everything right, but I was never intentionally trying to mislead you. I was trying to level people up and help people. I was never trying to abuse. And that's what it is. It's abuse. It's abuse of the weak. It's the abuse of the innocent. And that's where you start to feel medieval and go, that's the game that we're playing? All right. Well, we got our own pit bulls that we can unleash over here because there's nothing more mama bear than a mama bear. Unfortunately, you have the awfuls, the angry white female leftists that have daddy issues, anger issues. They've been manipulated through the media, the Democrat Party, and academia to just be miserable, to be angry, to be hating. They get the script, they drink the script, it's poison, and they come back the next day asking for more. And all we want is a safe country here where people can go about their lives and kind of be left alone. So that's the type of America that I'm fighting for. And you know what? James Van Der Beek played a character like that. James Van Der Beek played a character. Dawson's Creek. Was it Johnny Moxon? Was that his full name? Mox? Was it Johnny? Now I'm kind of forgetting. Let me look up who was Mox. Raise your hand. Tell me in the comments. Question of the day. Jonathan Moxon. Johnny Moxon. A smart, rebellious backup quarterback for the West Canaan. Oh, look at that. We were talking about the Canaanites today, weren't we? About child sacrifice and the Old Testament and this pseudo-demonic force that's being exposed through the Pizzagate Epstein files. James Van Der Beek played backup quarterback for West Canaan, Canaan, Coyotes high school football team in a small town in Texas, in a place obsessed with football. And my question of the day is, have you seen Varsity Blues? I'm going to read you the intro and I'm going to ask you for homework. Just watch Varsity Blues. It's a good 1999 football movie. He's a smart, rebellious backup quarterback for the West Canaan Coyotes high school football team in small town Texas. In a place obsessed with football and ruled by a ruthless win-at-all-costs coach, John Voight, Mox steps up when the star QB gets injured. He rebels against the pressure, prioritizing his future, like college and escaping the town's narrow mindset, over blind loyalty to the program. Iconic lines include his motivational locker room speech. We have the rest of our lives to be mediocre, but we have the opportunity to play like gods for the next half of football. Let's be heroes. Oh, don't they play? At that point, don't they go? All the rest of them talking about, there goes my hero. I think they do play that song. Now that I read that. Foo Fighters hero at this scene. I haven't watched it in so long. Yes. My hero plays in the climactic final football game sequence, specifically during the high stakes moments of the championship game against the Permian Panthers. We have the rest of our lives to be mediocre, but we have the opportunity to play like gods for the next half of football. Let's be heroes. The role was one of Vanderbeek's most memorable breakout performances alongside his fame as Dawson Leary on Dawson's Creek, earning him awards like MTV Movie Awards for breakthrough male performance. The nickname Mox stuck so much that fans and tributes often referred to him that way after his recent passing. Oh, there's also a minor Star Wars character named Mox, a young clone cadet in the Bad Batch. Okay, so yeah, Varsity Blues. Have you watched it? And if you haven't, will you watch it soon? I've put it on my list. I do want to rewatch it. You know, just like you want to listen to Ozzy Osbourne when Ozzy passes away. Just like you want to go back and watch some of that WWE stuff when Hulk Hogan passes away. Or Cosby Show when Malcolm Jamal Warner. Yeah, like that's how this goes, right? We're all leaving a legacy. We're all, we're all on borrowed time too. Everything's temporary. What do you do with that? So there's a lot to this. But Dawson, James Vanderbeek, husband, actor, father to 6 children. I believe he was a homesteader of sorts. We're going to play, he did a 3-minute clip. He did a video. It's worth watching. We'll play that, and we'll dig into the rest of the news on today's program. So let's do the official cold open to the program, and we'll get things started. Then we'll pull up the comments on the side of the screen. Please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notifications bell, copy the link to this show, send it out on X. Just shoot something out on X and tag us at American_media_ and just say, hey, we're live in the chat, unpacking the news of the day. Join us. Text it to a friend, text it to a family member, text it to somebody that works, somebody in a chat room, somebody in a group thread that you talk to about other stuff. Invite your friends into the bar. The bar's we gotta keep the lights on. We gotta pay the staff. We got overhead. The more people eating a hamburger, the easier it's going to be to take care of that. So if you like what you got, please help us advertise amongst your group, your circle. If you don't have just post it on whatever social media options that you have. Click to share the show from Facebook, from YouTube, from Rumble, wherever. I think it all counts for something at the end of the day. So broadcasting to you live from the Orion Spiral Arm of the Milky Way Galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Thursday, February 12th, 2026. And this right here is the TNAM Daily Show here on the New American Media. We told you the stories we're about to uncover. We told you we're going to bring up chat and welcome all the regulars in. We're going to start the program right now.
guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.
Thank you all so much for being here. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Who's in the house? Like Leon is here. Hello, David Ban, Trash Panda, Texas. John, Droopy Dog, Backward Herd. What's up? Kenneth in the hizzy. Biden, yeah, the DEI years. You're not, okay, there we go. I was like, you're not seeing that green square around that box, are you? No, it was just here in the studio. Coffee is the very, very, very first thing I do when I get up. All right. So, reminder, tell me in the comments if TNAM got a branded coffee or a couple of versions, slapped our logo on, but we could craft them. What types of coffee would you be interested in? Because I've been drinking this coffee for a while. It's not great. I'm not a coffee snob, so I don't particularly care. I'll drink damn near anything. I had a buddy that would always drink the coffee black, and it's like, well, yeah, well, don't you like cream? Don't you like sugar? Don't you? It's like, well, yeah, I mean, that stuff's fine if you want. I mean, it's extra calories and a whole lot of chemicals. But if you get used to it black and cold black coffee, you'll never be disappointed. It'll always just be coffee. But if it has to be a certain way, it has to have a light dusting of nutmeg and just a waft of a citrus rind twist or something, whatever people do. And it's easy to be disappointed. But yeah, I'm also the kind of guy that'll eat damn near anything as well. It's like, I can appreciate a fine meal. I've served a million of them working in hospitality and staffing and bartending over the years and this and that. Sometimes there's nothing better than a great meal. But yeah, definitely not a snob. But this coffee, the one out of this decanter, it's not hot, but it's warm. I rarely have warm coffee. That's a special treat. Yeah, Kenneth, the DEI years. It was also Obama. Obama put Sotomayor in. Kamala Harris didn't deserve to be where she was. Ketanji Brown Jackson. I mean, nobody taught. They count the words and then they grade the legal arguments. And Ketanji Brown Jackson speaks the most, says the least, and has the most indefensible legal positions out of anybody on the Supreme Court. And you go, how did they get so? Oh, that's why they got selected. They didn't say, let's get the most qualified person. They said, let's go to central casting and who looks right. You look okay. Are you, let me ask, your parents, your lineage, what country are you from? What country do your parents reside from? Hey, by the way, before I consider you for the position, who do you like to participate in orgasming with? People of your same sex, or, you know, maybe someone of the other sex, or, you know, maybe, you know, all of it, you know, little this, little that, here and there and everywhere. And you go to central casting and you make that relevant. I'm sorry. Could you drop your trousers real quick there, sir, ma'am? Call me ma'am. I don't know what you are, but can I see what's between your legs? Because that seems to matter. No, that doesn't matter. Competence and qualifications, morals, values, guidelines, intelligence matters. Nothing out of central casting matters. That's all bullshit. By the way, the thing that I was starting to get to, and I didn't quite finish with James Van Der Beek, was James Van Der Beek. I really did not finish that circle. I left it kind of open. I just had to click it together. Whether it was West Canaan, Texas, or Dawson's Creek, you know, that dude portrayed a version of Americana, American small towns, suburbs, middle class, kind of, you know, like a nice place to be in America that just, I don't know. I mean, do we even know our neighbors very well? How often are we out and about? What is community? And how much are non-Americans changing what our community is? What we speak, who we worship, what football teams we root for. or El Football Americano. I mean, there's a fabric to the nation. And yeah, I think it's important to be well-versed in a lot of things, but the phrase that we've all sort of accepted is like, okay, that diversity is our strength. Think of it from a football team perspective. I'm not talking about the 85% black players on the team, a couple of Samoans on the offensive line, maybe a couple of white guys playing position here, there, in between, a couple quarterbacks, a couple defensive backs, a running back or two. Not a lot. There's not a lot of white guys playing. Carson Schwessinger, middle linebacker, defensive player of the year for the Cleveland Browns. Great white player. Great, but I don't care that he's white. I don't care if he were black. He's a great player. He's competent. And that's what we're supposed to focus on with sports and life in America. Just be competent. Just excel at your thing, the thing that we're asking you to do. Excel. That's all we want is excellence. I've cheered for Johnny Manziel. Didn't take me long to figure out that he wasn't putting the energy in to become as good as he needed to be to take us where we needed to go. So I then became an unfan of Johnny Manziel, to be honest. I still root for Baker Mayfield, white quarterback drafted number 1 overall in Cleveland. Now he's on the Buccaneers. I still root for him. I wish we had given him a contract extension and could have built the team around him. I never liked Deshaun Watson coming onto the team. Because it meant jettisoning Baker Mayfield. White quarterback, black quarterback. But when he played, I was rooting for him to play well. Yeah, he had all sorts of essay accusations. And there were settlements, and it was like some creepy stuff. It was a dude that seemed addicted to tug and rubs. And some of that can be consensual. I don't know. You date people. Remember, the Democrats say sex work is real work. I don't know about this. But I guess there were also a bunch of real masseuses that just there to work on the body who were assaulted by this dude that would get naked in front of them, try to coerce them to participate in things, and they'd feel really uncomfortable. I didn't really particularly like that guy, but when he was under center, it's like, all right, this guy acted in a manner that's not okay. The law did what the law did. He's still out. He's still on a team. I'm going to root for this guy to win. By the way, fun fact, he might be our starting quarterback next year. We'll see how it shakes out. But I've cheered for Hugh Jackson, black NFL head coach. I'm cheering for Todd Monken now. It doesn't matter. I don't care what anyone looks like. I care about qualifications and competency. But yeah, the Biden DEI years, Kenneth, thanks for taking me off on this segue, off this little off-roading path. But yeah, the Obama-Biden years will be known as the DEI scourge. People aren't trusting the qualifications of the people around them anymore. And maybe some of that's well-deserved. We got a video in the stack of a guy that didn't know the 3 branches of government. He's at the top of that governmental. Anyway, I got a clip on that. We'll get to that. But yeah, these are the DEI years for sure. Oh, that's a good joke there, Kenneth. The creator of Rogaine created money out of thin hair. Oh, that might be one of your best. Write that down. Lousy smart weather. It's not damn smart weather. It's lousy. It's such a perfect, they had such a great way of phrasing their words, like Anthony Bourdain. Lousy smarch weather. Yes, you're right, David. It all needs to change. Yeah, I did see Lake Leon that John Thune has officially signed on to the SAVE Act. Okay, well, what does that mean? Okay, brass tacks. What now? How many more? We need 60? Fetterman said, where are we at? It's a good start. Hello, Marion. Speaking of start, she missed the start, missed the notification. You missed the notification. Well, heavens to Murgatroyd. Welcome now. Marion has not watched Varsity Blues. Will you take my challenge, Marion? Yes or no? I say, yes, I will watch Varsity Blues, or no, I don't want to watch Varsity Blues. There are some jokes in there, a little bit of raciness, some good competitive football stuff, some rah-rah speeches, a little bit of power struggle. It's worth watching. It's a good movie. You know, I even sort of enjoyed watching Dawson's Creek. I remember back in the day, it used to be on in the background a lot. I'd be working on other things, and it would just be on the TV. And I'd be doing work, and it was just there. And it was a good show. It was well made. 911, what's the emergency this time? Same old shit. Dispatch. Does that mean I'm going off on a rant? I'm way off on a tangent. I'm doing a weave. A bit of a... They said, nobody does the weave. Kind of, you know, like me. I go this way. I zig and I zag. Kind of like the old Eric Metcalf touchdowns. Before the NFL went woke, and as a lot of people say it's the worst kickoff they've ever seen. You gotta change it. I'm doing the weave. Is that the emergency? Kenneth says a quarterback that only plays 1 out of 5 games is a nickelback. It was clean, you know, something like that, close to that. Something like that, yes. Trading Places and Police Academy. David has joined us. Yeah, it's been fun having you guys pop into our Strictly Football program. Go check it out. We did our Super Bowl wrap-up show. Very soon, we're going to be doing a free agency preview show, then a free agency signing show, then a NFL draft preview show, then an NFL draft review show, and then a spring training show, and then a preseason show, and then we'll be on to season 3 of Strictly Football. We had 30 episodes this year. Myself, Ezra L. Robinson, Jim Mitchell, and Mike Barra. Also, go watch Mike Barra's. Actually, raise your hand in the comments section if you watched it. Mike did episode number 2. What's the guy's name from the Y Files with Hecklefish? I forget the guy's name. But they started a new show called The Basement, and Mike Barra was episode 2. It was like a 3.5-hour show. And it's up to more than 1 million views in a week. Like, those are solid numbers. Go check that out. Go check out Mike's episode, The Basement. Type in Mike Barra, The Basement, The Y Files. It's the guy from The Y Files, whatever his name is. But yeah, David has been over there jumping into Strictly Football. And a lot of you have been. You see that we're live, you jump in. It's a great time to throw jokes in and legit ask questions too and have some fun. We're just hanging out, having a good time here at the bar. You're all welcome all the time. But yeah, David is a Bills fan. And we talked about how the Super Bowl was really the Rams versus the Seahawks the week before, the 2 best teams. And maybe the Super Bowl would have been more interesting if the Bills had gotten there. But David here is saying that the Browns need to draft a top QB, period. Will there be one worthy of that pick? We have massive offensive line issues to fix, and we have massive wide receiver issues to fix on that offense. Probably another running back, too. We're not bringing back David Njoku, so we'll need another tight end. Harold Fannin was great, but you usually need 2 of those. Maybe we'll bring in Isaiah Likely from the Ravens. But yeah, I love talking football. But yeah, check out Mike's show on the Y Files. I think it's got over 1 million views. But yeah, he's been on for season 2, and check out our show from this week, Strictly Football on the Unhappy Hour. I don't know. Maybe we just improve the weapons around Shedeur Sanders. He's already here. We are strapped to the Deshaun Watson quarterback situation because we can't move on from it. It's fully guaranteed. Let's just keep him on the roster, give them all 3 a chance to start, and let's see what the Todd Monken regime that had been coaching Lamar Jackson for all those years can do with Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. I don't know if there's a quarterback worth drafting at number 6. If you can't get Mendoza, is there a quarterback that you think could be a franchise leader in this draft? Maybe you say we package trades, we go up and we get Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman winning quarterback from Indiana. I'd listen to it, but it's not going to fix our offensive line problem. We already have 3 quarterbacks we can't move on from. We just drafted 2 of them last year. Dylan Gabriel, I mean, They all have room to grow. We're sort of stuck with what we're stuck with. I don't know that we are going to get. But you are saying go get Lamar Jackson? I wonder what it would cost. I mean, if the Ravens wanted to move on from the Lamar Jackson era, maybe it would cost a second-round pick. And that's essentially what he was, the number 31 overall pick. I mean, Lamar could probably talk his way out of that city and just say, hey, I'll sit out, or this could be really weird and uncomfortable, or just move on from me. Give you back that high first round. Let me just go play elsewhere. I don't know. Would I want that? I don't know. Okay, Marion will try to watch Varsity Blues. But as Yoda said, do or do not. There is no try. Yes, Kenneth, go watch Mike Grinenbarrett. Grinenbarrett. So you say get the quarterback first, and then a lineman, and then get Jackson. Mendoza! Kenneth and I, we just have a Simpsons bond. It cannot be broken. All right, people, we got stories to get to, so let's jump into it and see what everybody's talking about. Hit like, hit subscribe. Remember, we have Rumble rants and Super Chats available if you want to tip your boy. Let's pull up the Instagram feed. Follow us at The New American Media. With a few more follows, we're going to be able to go live, and I wonder if we can connect this show. I don't know, but it could be helpful to grow the program. All right, let's take a listen to who's this? Becky Weiss? What's she have to say?
Gosh, can you believe Pam Bondi? She said that we should be talking about the stock market instead of the Epstein files. Yes, I can believe it. You know why? Because in February, she said the client list was sitting on her desk, and then she made the silly little binders for the silly little influencers for their silly little photo shoot. But then there was actually no client list at all. But then truckloads of evidence showed up. But then she closed the case over the summertime because there was no evidence of trafficking and no evidence of blackmailing and no evidence of any wrongdoing by any third parties. So am I shocked and surprised that she thinks we should be talking about the stock markets instead of the Epstein files? No. She's a colossal failure. What do you expect? Oh my...
I mean, there's a lot to agree with there. I mean, tell me in the comments. Okay, no, let's do an agree to disagree. We're snap poll here. We're asking you to vote. Do you agree or disagree that it is high time that we replace Pam Bondi? Agree, replace Bondi. Disagree, keep Bondi. Tell me in the comments. That wasn't exactly the image I wanted. How about this one? QOTD, agree, replace Bondi. Disagree, keep Bondi. Joe Rogan is learning some stuff. Hollywood director tells Joe Rogan, oh God, I guess we're going to have to listen to this. This is Roger Avery, a director, producer, and Academy Award-winning screenwriter, known for Pulp Fiction, which he co-wrote with Quentin Tarantino, as well as Rules of Attraction and Killing Zoe. Okay, then.
They're eating babies, man. Like that's
Do you think so that you think is real? So
well, yeah. Not only that, I think that there's sacrifices going on every day in Los Angeles. I mean, allegedly, like high level musicians, let's say, high level female musician is like killing chickens every day, doing sacrifices, like
high level.
Well, I don't want to say. I don't want to say names because I don't want to get sued, and I don't want to be dead either.
What does it rhyme with?
Here's the purchase order. I started looking at the comments for some stuff. Not that
they're eating babies, man. Like that's.
Do you think so that you think is real? So
well, yeah. Not only that, I think that.
Okay, chat. Which female musicians is he referencing? Reply with your best guesses. This is like Santeria stuff. Which female musicians is he referencing? Which female musicians are he referencing? No, that's not right. Is he referencing? I'll just say name. Reply with the names of the female musicians. Here, I'm going to tighten this comment up. This is one of these comments that could leave a million impressions on Instagram. Reply with the names of the female musicians he's referencing. Who do you think? Question of the day in the comment section. Tell me, which musicians do you think he's referencing? Which female musicians? And it's not just limited to musicians, but just for the sake of this conversation here. Oh, I got a list. I just want you to say it first. All right. Who's Zach Hughes? What's he saying? Don't you find it odd that TMZ, the #1 source for Hollywood news, TMZ stands for 30 Mile Zone? I didn't know that. Up until this week, you learn something every week on the TNAM Daily Show. You learn something new every week on the TNAM Daily Show now, don't you? Don't you find it odd that 30 Mile Zone, TMZ, the #1 source of Hollywood news, received a ransom letter for Savannah's mom? Sending a message to Hollywood to not speak up about the files, or this could happen to your family? Is the story adding up in any way? The Real says TMZ founder in the Epstein files himself. They're saying that the TMZ founder is in the files. Harvey something Steen? What's his name? Harvey Keitel? What's his name? Now I'm thinking Harvey Keitel from Reservoir Dogs, a Quentin Tarantino movie. Did Guthrie marry Feldman, a fixer for the Clintons, the same Clintons testifying before Congress regarding their Epstein connection? Is that a thing? Oh, I don't know. TMZ is a part of this. Clintons are doing this. The whole thing is a hoax, starting with Savannah. It sort of feels like a hoax, right? It sort of definitely feels like a hoax. You know, I don't know. Should I change this background? Now that I'm looking at it, I don't think you change the background opacity. Make it black. I see the background and I want it painted black. Question of the day. Type it in the comments. Can you hear me when I play drums? Like I was doing the paint it black. Ooh, I see a red door and I want to paint it black. And I see those girls are partners in their summer clothes. Oh, we're getting some guesses. Good. Let's get to your guesses. Spam Blondie, the Queen of Wall Street. Yeah. David, are you really saying the Browns should take Carson Beck from Miami at #6? Are you really saying that? Lake Leon says she should have never been picked. Who are we talking about? Kamala? I don't know. David says, we know that it's real. There's 6 satanic beings and people just didn't want to hear about it before. Yeah, I mean, how often can you talk about it, right? Oh, you think Stevie Nicks is on the list, or so that David guesses. Madonna, keep going on. Let's hear it. David, please go on. How many people? TMZ, Tilted Media Zone. That's pretty fair. No, I said Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Firestein. Harvey Jew something. I said Harvey Keitel. He's a Jewish dude, though, right? Harvey, hang on. I like asking Grok funny questions without proper. Harvey Levin. Harvey Levin, founder and longtime face of TMZ, is Jewish. Okay. TMZ itself is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery these days, but Levin founded it in 2005, built it into the gossip powerhouse it is, and remains closely associated as its managing editor, executive producer for years. And in the files, it says that they're talking about trying how to repair Jeffrey Epstein's image. Wasn't Steve Bannon doing the same thing? Of course, you recall that I was a on-site reporter for Real America's Voice. They used many of my clips for the cold open to Steve Bannon's War Room that night when President Trump spoke in the Bronx. I talked on a couple of programs, including with Jack Posobiec, reporting on the Bronx for to shed light on how people are frustrated and annoyed at what's happening with the illegal immigrants in our country. Harvey Levin, that's his name. Harvey Levin. Oh, Rolling Stones, another satanic band. Are they? Why would you? What about Rolling Stones? Oh, I guess Mick Jagger. What is the satanic connection to Rolling Stones? Pardon me for it, but I don't see them on the list a lot, but I do see Mick Jagger a couple times, like just his face. Okay, question of the day. You thought someone was at the door when I started playing? David says, no, don't take Carson back. It's 6. Okay. Lake Leon guesses Cher would be on there. You know, but look, guys, we're also participating in a Salem witch trial. That's where this is tough for me because there's a lot of hearsay and conjecture. Come on, Kenneth. Well, Your Honor, those are hearsay and conjecture. Those are types of evidence, right? No. Tell me what that's from, Kenneth. And Kenneth, if you don't know, type QOTD, I don't know. Hearsay and conjecture. Those are types of evidence. I need to know if you know the answer to it because I got to wrap that story. But I'm not going to tell you until you type. Maybe trade up. Trade up to where? Where's Carson Beck going to go? Or you say trade up to go get Mendoza. Harvey. Do you know that guy? Harvey Levin. 111. Make a wish. So anyway, all eyes on Savannah Guthrie and Harvey Levin. Remember Harvey Levin? Remember when they announced that Charlie Kirk had been assassinated and his office cheered with delight and glee over the blood sport of human sacrifice? In Hollywood. I believe that's the Hollywood office, right? I've been in these Hollywood offices pitching shows to BBC, multiple meetings to pitch a conspiracy show. And I think we just kind of realized that we weren't the right fit for each other. I sort of saw how little effort and little understanding and sort of the direction the show was kind of going, and it didn't really make sense to continue. Now, I probably could have played my cards differently if I had another chance to do it. Definitely could have. But in hindsight, it's like, why are you trying to build on that foundation? And I just didn't. Decided not to. Oh yeah, that's The Simpsons. That's Lionel Hutz talking to the judge. Well, hearsay and conjecture. Well, those are types of evidence, right? No. The worst lawyer on earth. Oh, you mean trade back into the draft? Where do you think Carson Beck would go? Anyway, while we're guessing about female musicians, here's a completely unrelated. Is this a real? Hang on, I got to ask this. Is this a confirmed real video and confirmed real tweets from Chrissy Teigen? I don't know this. Jada Prince.
I would eat a human.
If you are at a very
Allegedly saying to somebody, I would eat a human, and says, if you were in a very
fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
If you're in a restaurant and they say, here's a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
You wouldn't try a tiny bite?
You wouldn't try a tiny bite? I don't know if this video is accurate. Let me ask, at least see what Grok has to say. By the way, you can never take Grok for granted either. Also, by the way, never take anything I say as an assertion. Everything is just hypotheses that we hash out on the show. Never meant to be full accusations, or we have all the perfect answers to everything. We're talking about what other people are talking about. Do we believe it? What can we debunk? But let's ask Grok at least to get a little bit of fair, not fair use, but pseudo due diligence. Did Chrissy Teigen film herself talking about eating humans? No. The clips are from professional interview. Oh my God. Grok is answering the wrong question. What context of film where she says she'd eat humans? I mean, we've just normalized this concept now. 2019 episode of David Chang's Netflix travel food series, Breakfast, Lunch, and Dinner, Season 1. Episode featuring Morocco. While casually chatting with Chef David Chang about adventurous extreme foods after he balked at eating snake, and she said she's open to trying basically anything. Quote, there's actually nothing I wouldn't eat or wouldn't drink or wouldn't try. If the person okayed it, I would eat a human. If the person okayed it. If the person okayed it. She then pressed him hypothetically. If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat, you wouldn't try a tiny bite? Chang immediately shut it down with no, absolutely not. It was framed as edgy, provocative, banter, shock humor in a food exploration context, discussing exotic eats, cultural boundaries, and what's left to try in fine dining. Not a serious confession or promotion of cannibalism. She giggled and asked if it was terrible, playing it light. The clips resurfaced multiple times where she doubled down by jokingly referencing things like the bodies exhibit and how everything has been eaten except that. But the original source is that Netflix episode. Viral shares often clip it out of context to fuel conspiracy angles, but it's from a mainstream cooking travel show, while Netflix is owned by the Obamas, which is owned by the same cartels that are running these rings. So aren't they trying to push all their gender confusion onto people? Aren't they trying to push all these ideas? Trying to normalize cannibalism? Normalize the gender confusion and the unnecessary genital mutilation? Really Mengele type stuff. When you're down to like chopping body parts off people through consent, if they consent to it, I wonder if that's what she's talking about. What if someone can be convinced to say, I don't want my penis anymore, I think I'm a girl, and then you save those pieces and you serve those pieces as meat for people to try? Then you technically had someone consent to it, but if you were confused into consenting to it, that's abuse. In the efforts to maybe try to convince somebody they can become something that they're not. By the way, the name of Obama's book, the Michelle Obama book, is called Becoming. Many people call that person Big Mike, and you go, oh, come on. Just because Joan Rivers said that and then mysteriously was executed, or I'm sorry, it was a medical malpractice. No, it was just an accident. No, she was just old. No, it was just her time. Nothing to see here. Because she said, Michelle's a tranny, everybody knows. Huh? Because she was asked while walking up the stairs about officiating a gay wedding. Said, when will America have its first gay president? They said, we already do. Oh, Michelle's a tranny, everybody knows. He goes, what? He goes, but it's okay. It's okay. Then she's just having a routine cosmetic procedure and she expires. Silenced. So she couched it with, if the person consented to it, yes, take these body parts. There are people that are cutting off healthy limbs because they're, what do you call them? Transabled, people that want to abuse themselves. Now that just got me thinking about the scenarios with which you could harvest human meat and try to say it's ethically sourced. Once again, this is why we pray for the protection of our hearts and our souls and our minds and our spirit as we're digging through this garbage.
No.
Really?
But all these comments here, Chrissy Teigen, it's actually so ridiculous that when most of the plane just laughs hysterically when someone comes on with pizza. I woke up this morning with pizza. I can't read that one. For 30 minutes, we've been discussing how to ensure crispiness. I say it needs to be on the rack. He says, no, it has to go on a pan. The pizza is merely en route, and I'm so madly excited about it, and we are discussing how to handle its arrival. Are these all real or are these not? We got to be careful about the witch trials here, but Teigen being linked to really messed up messages.
Really?
Absolutely not.
Is that terrible?
Hate it.
She said, I'm going to jail over pizza on a Twitter post. Allegedly. This one, allegedly, Johnny and I are on our way to the Holly date. Karina Belanoff is serving a nice 4-year-old cheese pizza with adrenochrome. I mean, you don't get any more on the nose than that. This is what, an attempt at humor? Or a confession? I woke up this morning with pizza on my chest and ranch dressing all over me. So if you think I'm too good for this, you are sadly mistaken. From 2012. Allegedly. Okay. Chrissy Teigen, we could put on that I wonder list. Here's Mel Gibson. Hey, here's that face that you make when everyone learns that you weren't the crazy ones. Yeah, if you were offered that. I mean, there's the episode of where Cartman, Scott Tinnerman, he cooks his parents and gives it to him to eat. People can be tricked. There's stories that McDonald's or some of these, and you go, come on now. Well, there's horror movies about this stuff. I guess there's probably some sort of morbid fascination or curiosity. Yeah, like Leon, if I were offered that, I would be in jail for popping the chef. Filet of Trish. Okay, all right. Yes, it is 66666. Kenneth is never going to attend a meet-up group again. I think that's MEET, but I get your point. Yeah. But here's Mel Gibson. Here's that face you make when everyone learns you weren't the crazy one. But we digress, right? What's this account? I'll follow it. Usually people leave breadcrumbs. And if they're putting out interesting content, I'll often try to follow them and see if they have any more interesting content. A share is not an endorsement. A retweet is not I guess just an endorsement. I don't need to keep finding synonyms. You get the point. All right, let's watch this video. This is allegedly off InfoWars. Video of Peter Nygaard, the Jeffrey Epstein associate, attempting to purchase babies from black women so he can drain their blood. Lacey wondering why so many girls go missing and why abortion clinics are in certain neighborhoods. This world is evil. Peter Nygaard. He's we've covered him in the past. He is he's been accused of the worst things you could ever imagine. Listen to his own words here. Oh, why is it muted? Here we go.
That's very valuable. Umbilical cord, placenta, even your period blood is so rich with stem cells. Yeah. We regard it as waste, and it actually should be. It should be captured as recycled, and it shouldn't go to waste. It's life for somebody, you know.
Him.
It's life
and
for
George Herbert Bush.
No, the best eggs are 16 to 18 years old. Those are the best eggs.
16 to 18 year olds.
The older your eggs get, the weaker and weaker.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So you may not be our top candidate.
No, that's fine. I think that was my business anyway.
And notice he slaps him around like a pimp. By the way, you women are like 30. I want 16-year-olds. I mean, folks. And then he did it with a huge medical facility. So understand, we ain't in 2026. We're like in 2050 and vampires running. These are literal vampires.
And the young girl that is on record that he actually took his own child, he had a child with a 14-year-old, and he was taking the stem cells from that baby. I think they brought it to term maybe 8 months, I believe.
Yeah.
And then started taking the cells right from the baby and injecting it into himself. He personally did it.
Well, that's when they kept it alive, they told. So he's milking the baby.
Yes.
We have abortion. That's very valuable.
All right, then. Peter Nygard. Like I said, we covered him a while ago, accused of being the worst of the worst. What is the latest with Nygard? Jamie, look that up. Latest with Peter Nygard. You guys are actually pretty decent at looking things up if I just bark out, hey, can you look this up? Actively appealing the Toronto conviction and sentence, 2 years. He has roughly 6 to 7 years left. Sentenced in September of 24 to 11 years. And credit for time served. Peter Nygard. Convicted of SA against women and one teenager in the late 80s to mid 2000s. He faces pending charges and trials for trafficking, racketeering, related crimes, luring women and minors to his properties, including the Bahamas. Oh, God. Just a vampire, man. Accused of it. Wow. Imagine getting tricked into something. You know, and I think that's part of the Epstein story is you got these women that feel like they were tricked into stuff, they were abused, and then at 18, they were forced to get other young girls or else they were going to get, they know what happens if you don't go along. You're consumed. You're eliminated. You're eaten. You're disposed of. And so there's two schools of thought. The women who participated in the trafficking of other women because their pimp was telling them, I'm going to terminate you in the worst possible way if you don't do what I say. Acting under extreme duress. Are you held liable for the actions when you were forced to do something that you didn't want to do? Or were you tricked into doing stuff? Like the Cartman episode, but with Peter Nygard luring people to the Bahamas, tricked into saying, hey, we're having this photo shoot and we're going to do this thing. Here's a calendar from last year. If you want to, yeah, all expenses paid. Like you be a part of it. And then you get there and it's a torture chamber. Like it's shit from horror movies. Like it's bad, 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 bad. Bad shit. So why are we just kind of moving on from it, trying to move on from it? Why? Marion, are these people still walking around or are they in jail somewhere? Yeah, Nygard's in jail and there's more serious crimes coming. More serious criminal trials on the way, it said. And I don't think they scratched the surface. Look into Oprah. Not a musician, but look into Oprah. Ugh. Tamara says, when Trump said people were eating Kit Kats and they're eating hot dogs, I don't think that food is very nutritious. They really do need to get back to Whole Foods. No more Kit Kats, no more hot dogs. It was on the news every day for days on end when Trump said people were eating cats and dogs. Now we find out that people are eating children and babies, and the news hasn't said a word about it. So Good times. Thanks for playing. Now, please go back to your regularly scheduled programming. Sorry to interrupt you with this untimely news break. Go back to sleep. See, that's a segment that should be clipped out and used and sent around. I just don't do the clipping in the I need to do that. That will help the show grow immensely. The French are eating the frogs. They're eating the dogs. I really like, they're eating hot dogs. They're eating Kit Kats. Help us. Warriors armor.
The city streets are crowded for the holiday.
I don't know what this music is.
Even with the rain.
Your daily reminder that you don't hate evil enough. So, come on, level up, get to work. We're on a team here. It's time to hate evil a little bit more. Reminder that you are not being open-minded and tolerant and inclusive. You know, those are weasel words used to get you to sit down, shut up, and allow your way of life to be transformed. Fundamentally transformed. 5 days away from being fundamentally transformed. You're being conquered. You're being conquered. Do you hate evil enough, or do you want the vampires to take over? Do you want the woke mind virus to take over? You tell me. You tell me. This guy, Asmongold, talking about Gavin Newsom here.
Just 9 counties accounted for 2/3 of violent confrontations with ICE in America.
Did you hear that?
This is twice the violent confrontations in the remaining 3,134 counties. A violent confrontation in these 9 counties was 590 times more likely than those other 3,134 counties. I plotted the 9 counties, and I found that all 9...
This guy's Asman's basement.
9 counties are sanctuary jurisdictions run by Democrat politicians that resist immigration enforcement. Wow, guys, it's almost as if this entire thing has been engineered. It's just what I've said over and over and over. What a surprise. Just...
Yeah. Shocked button. Nobody is shocked by this. All right. Is Trump Derangement Syndrome a mental disorder? I do call on Bobby Kennedy. What can I help you with? I am calling on you to try to work on the mental health of our nation, because many people are afflicted with Trump Derangement Syndrome. I do have my best people looking into that right now. If you can bring me one of those pouches of nicotine, it'll help me focus on completing this task later today. So is Trump Derangement Syndrome a mental disorder? Zach Heater.
Trump Derangement Syndrome truly needs to be studied by psychologists. This is a legitimate mental disorder, as far as I'm concerned. If you were willing to go against your own morals and your own beliefs for the simple fact that an idea might be from a Republican person or came out of Trump's mouth, so you immediately defy it, you have issues. Like, can't we all agree that deporting someone who's murdered 3 people is probably the good choice? That's probably a reasonable person to deport. Can't we all agree on something like that? As an openly gay person who voted for Trump, this apparently gives them the green light to call me every single homophobic slur you could ever imagine, to make fun of the way I talk, the way I look, everything. And ironically, if I was an open liberal, they would be praising all those things. They would be doing the exact opposite. Oh, I love what you're wearing. Oh, I love what you're talking about this. They are the fakest people on the planet. These people's minds are so revolved around politics, where they go to eat, where they go to shop, what TV shows they watch. They are afraid to show publicly what they're doing in their personal life because they're always wondering, oh, I wonder if this is a Republican-owned business and I shouldn't share my support. Oh, I wonder if this TV show I should watch because Trump said he liked it. They are constantly, he lives rent-free in their head 24/7. They cannot make a decision on their own without worrying about what others think. Trump derangement.
Yeah. MAHA needs to prioritize restoration. What am I trying to say here? MAHA needs to prioritize restoration of mental health to Americans suffering from TDS. Tired Peasant says, let me be clear. Let me be very clear. If bringing down the largest child sex trafficking ring in history will collapse the world as we know it, then the world as we know it needs to collapse. What say you? Agree or disagree with that one? If bringing down the largest child sex trafficking ring in history will collapse the world as we know it, then the world as we know it needs to collapse. Agree or disagree? It's hard to argue anything otherwise. So people are talking about this. Charlie Kirk's wedding photo vanishes as Erica films from his chair. Graham Allen was talking about that this morning, and he said that the answer is that she took the photo because she wanted to share it with her children so that they could see the photo of their father around. Another question of the day, are you Team Candace or Team Erica? The people who are Team Erica are getting really angry at Candace. I have long said that I would love, well, I would hope that there would be people who would dig into every possibility of foul play if something happened to me. Does it seem as though Candace is actually accusing Erica Kirk as being complicit in it, as well as other people? Oh, she's definitely putting it out there. I'm just asking questions, guys. Come on, guys. So I don't know. Do you make anything about the picture being taken down of their marriage, their wedding night or whatever? What say you? All right, what's this? Oh, yeah, we played this for you yesterday. Head of security says if a vehicle ever stops in front of you and tries to box you in and people get out, just remember this video. We played this yesterday. Watch this, remember this. It might save your life. Here we go. You're driving, then all of a sudden, car stops, people get out, aim at you, and kaboom, get the heck out of there. That is an offensive maneuver that any rational person, reasonable person would assume would be to harm you, to steal from you. You have no idea what's happening, and you're not going to be made a victim of that day. You have a self-defense tool at your disposal, and you have every right to not get boxed in while they pop out of the vehicle. And it looked like the guy aimed at her. I don't know if a shot was fired or not. Let me ask that in the question. Was a shot fired by the second robber. I can't tell if it's the second or the first. Was a shot fired by one of those two robbers? It looks like he aims and maybe a shot goes up and over the car, question mark. So be careful. Just remember, my dad always told me, if you're in a bad situation and like you're about to be in trouble, you have a self-defense tool at your disposal. You drive that vehicle like that. That will get you away. That will go over things. That will go through things. Nobody would ever encourage anyone to use that in a malicious way. Well, normal people wouldn't do that. And that's what I'm talking about. Oh, this is very interesting. I liked this. I'm just now learning of this word, this slur. Okay, you said that video at 25 seconds, he did get a round off. I thought that he did, yeah. I thought he got out and went like this, and I thought when he was hit, it went up and just up and out, up and over the driver's side. That's what it seemed like. Like, Leon, agree, let the chips fall where they may. If that's a system that's built on all this crap, let it come down. It has to come down. Kenneth, agree. David, agree. TDS is on TBS. Yep, David agrees. All right. Yeah, so there's this phrase that I don't like hearing, goyim, being used in a derogatory term to mean cattle, subhuman, non-Jewish people. We're just slaves. We're just cattle. While they sit high on the hog and we toil for them because they're our masters or something. They're the chosen people and we're just garbage. That is a very, I don't know. I've never really had a word feel like. I could never really understand, like, what's the big deal with that one word that one group doesn't want you to say? And you're like, all right, we should maybe not say that. And then you go, well, then why do you keep saying it? Why do you say it all the time to each other and just mean like, dude, what's up, dude? Nothing, my dude. You're like, it's either the worst word or it's like, it's a non-powerful word. How can it be both? Pick one. But this word actually makes me feel, excuse me. This one makes you feel some kind of way. Goyim. So this kid here, he's in the food section. And I think his point's pretty interesting. What say you?
Called her racist and anti-Semitic because I called 90% of the food sold in grocery stores goy slop. It's really confusing to me considering that the word goy was created by a certain group of people to describe people who are not part of their group. Interestingly enough, people who created the word goy also avoid about 90% of the food sold in grocery stores because it's not made by people who are part of their group, and the ingredients are absolutely toxic. When I call food goy slop, I'm literally agreeing with them. I don't think
he's literally agreeing. If it's not kosher, it's not food. If that's not kosher, that's not food. It's that simple. Well, shit. His point is he's literally agreeing with them. It's not up to their standards of eating. So the rest is just slop, goy slop, for people that are not in that group.
Anyone should be eating this garbage. As someone who judges people by their morals rather than their race or religion, I think it's odd that so many people are upset at me for using this term that they also use to describe people who aren't part of their group, because I'm not spreading hate. I'm just pointing out the obvious that 90% of this is literal goy slop. I got called
I mean, perfectly articulated. Spitting common sense facts. Makes you want to rethink the food we're consuming, doesn't it? This just in, FBI arrests a black rectangle after it appears over 6 million times in Epstein files. I mean, you can either laugh or cry, right? That's what John B. Wells always says. You can either laugh or cry. Luke Radowski put that out. Luke is on the intro to our show. Follow Luke. FBI arrests a black rectangle after it appears over 6 million times in the Epstein files. But not the B. Because when something is actually true, not the B button. Pam Bondi says that if we prosecute everybody in the Epstein files, the whole system will collapse.
I'll make that deal.
I'll make that deal. Inglorious bastards.
How about you bitch? You make that deal?
How about you? You gonna make that deal? What do you think?
Deal. I make that deal.
I'll make that deal while he's scalping.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
Damn good deal. We're burning daylight. LFG. Button. We're burning daylight. Let's go. I'll make that deal. All right, what's this dude? Lieutenant?
Okay, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all.
I'm not following him. Should I follow this guy? I don't know.
I think we owe all the conspiracy theorists an apology. Like everything y'all said is fucking true. I don't even think y'all halfway believe the shit y'all was talking about. Come on, man. The pizza thing? The pizza? Wayfair furniture?
Because the phrase CP. Mild corn. Cheese pizza, CP. That's what it was about. Unfortunately.
Child trafficking shit? Nigga, time travel?
Yeah, even time travel is a part of this conversation.
Time travel?
We're here to discuss the biological impacts of time travel.
I mean, so what are you guys gonna do with your lives now? It's out. Cat's out the bag. I think it was more fun listening to you guys when there was like a 50-50 chance of it being true, but it's all fucking true. Somebody said this is the stuff that nightmares are made of. Bitch, nightmares ain't got shit on this. Nightmare is a fucking picnic compared to this shit. The worst part about it is...
There's no worst part about it. It just gets worse. There is no bottom of the barrel. There's just another bottom to the barrel.
There's nobody's going to jail. Nobody's doing time. And this is only half of the files. Half. I wonder what the other half looks like.
Yeah, what if these are the easy to digest ones? Pardon the awful pun. They are sick and now all in the open to the sleepers. Yeah, you know, that's the other thing to pray for. To pray for the people who are just now hearing about this stuff that we've been talking about for far too long. But we also pray that they find their courage and their voice and that we figure this out and we, with swift justice and furious anger, destroy those that attempt to poison and destroy our brothers. For you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. That's a Pulp Fiction line. We played the Pulp Fiction guy, Avery. Ezekiel 25:17. We are beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with furious anger, with vengeance and furious anger, those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. For you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. That's literally talking about saving the kids. Did you hear it? You want to know why you want to know every single person that snuck into this country? Who they are and what they're up to? It's because of this shit. 300,000 missing kids dumped inside America that we've identified. Why wouldn't it be double that, 600,000, if we only caught what we noticed? Yeah, we got to pray for the people that are just now waking up. This is tough, but deal with it, Buttercup. Wasn't that a phrase on this show before? Up and at them. Deal with it, Buttercup. Princess Buttercup. Anyway. No, I don't want Lake Leon to have to report another 911 episode. I'll stop doing voices. But yeah, it's tough. You got to pray for the people who are waking up. We need your support. You know, we need you to stop sending money to the demons. Send money to podcasts like this, by the way, Rumble Rants and Super Chats. Patreon. You can help us out that way. But we need people to stand up and speak and pressure people to do the right thing here. Like, if you meet your maker, are you going to say that you did enough? Or, man, I don't know, dude, I was just too busy working. I had to keep I stayed out of it, man. We need you to pull your heads out of your ass for a second. It's not my ass. I'm just working really hard. Yeah, we're all working really hard. We need you now. So come back to us. David says 25 years ago, people wanted to fight me when I'd tell them the truth about their idols. Yeah. But now here we are.
I mean, at this point, y'all just going to have to find some new conspiracies to make up. But I just feel like you guys are just talking things into existence. So
we're not talking things into existence. We've been looking around down rabbit holes our whole lives. We've gone places you've never even heard of. That doesn't mean we're speaking it into existence. We're informing you of topics that you hadn't taken the time to intellectually consider. I don't know why you didn't choose to do the same thing that we did. I'm not saying we're better than you, but we are. But it's been a burden to carry this stuff around. An immense burden to carry this stuff around. So yeah, that's a double-edged sword. It feels good to know that we're not crazy, but it sucks to know that we're right.
Y'all just chill the fuck out for now. Let us get over this. Okay, I'm gonna keep.
We're not done. We're not done. Unfortunately. What is this? Oh, this is really good. I don't think I can share this. I want you to watch this, though. It's The Matrix, but it's like the woke universe. Oh, it's so good. I know I'll get flagged if I try to share this, though. They'll pick up on the music instantly. It'll pick up on the... You got to watch this. Can I play a second? Neo. The Matrix is a system, Neo.
System is full of degenerates. When you're in...
It's full of degenerates, but when you're inside, when you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, it's ma'am, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save.
These people are still a part of the woke system. And
they're a part of the woke system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand none of these people are not ready to pick up a biology textbook, and many of them are so injured, so hopelessly dependent on their pronouns that they will fight to protect it.
Were you listening to me?
Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the dude in the red dress? A dude? Look again. Kabam. This is so well done. But I think I'm going to stop playing it so I don't show too much of that copywritten movie. But it's a fantastic, not a parallel. Well, I mean, it is a parallel, but it's not a critique, artistic expression of taking that scene in the movie, applying it to what this woke world is, and how they're using that as a spell to once again prey on the most at-risk humans out there. And that's what this demonic thing is. It's preying on good people. I don't like people being taken advantage of like that. But this is fantastic. Freeze it. And he walks toward him. That wasn't a woman? No. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you are not one of us, you might marry one of them. Who are they? Transformers. They can move in and out of any gender visually, regardless of their chromosomes. That means that anyone coming out of the female bathroom is potentially a ladyboy. It's just been a full court press to try to push certain stuff on people. And you saw